望んで手に入れた力じゃない。呪術を差し出し、肉体が戻るのであれば喜んでそうするさ。俺はな、俺を差し置いて、樹海のお前がのうのうと日の元を歩いているのが、どうしようもなく我慢ならんのだ。
Having to live your entire life under a rooftop, from the protection of not only sunlight, but even moonlight can hurt you. Being born with no feeling in the bottom part of your body, no right arm and not even a proper skin. As someone like Toji and Maki may have benefit from the power given to them in exchange of their cursed energy and have supernaturally strong bodies, the opposite may happen. Being born with immense amount of cursed energy in the exchange of a normal healthy human body. Not a fair trade because of the lack of choice or acceptance. Something in normal circumstances you can't do anything about, especially when the power that is gained doesn't make up for the mental and social issues that will come along the way. The inability to connect with people and the inexperience of life. This is the curse of power when unwanted, the curse of being forced to endure something unfair, the curse of fate. Kokichi Muta, also known as Mechamaru, is a Jujutsu sorcerer from Kyoto, who was born with a heavenly restriction that treated his physical body with cursed energy and a powerful technique that makes him by far the strongest student from the Kyoto school when it comes to raw power and amount of cursed energy. Alongside his powerful and long-range technique and his intelligence, he is extremely talented and has a lot of potential, being a semi-first grade sorcerer while he is only in his second year. Kokichi, though, doesn't want any of this and is ready to throw it all away in exchange for a normal body. As ironically as him having huge amounts of cursed energy already, the resentment and hatred he has reflects that. Hatred towards the world, hatred towards the very laws of Jujutsu and the system, and even hatred towards others that get to have what he doesn't. And that is where his biggest flaw lies, his inability to connect with and relate to others. As self-explanatory as it is for someone who lived his entire life isolated from others, physically and emotionally, Kokichi doesn't understand bonds, trust, and relations. That is why he was aggressive towards Panda for the fact that the latter thought they were the same, and the fact that Panda get to live the way he can't. That is also the reason he faked the information and assignments for his Kyoto classmates, so that they don't get sent to Tokyo to experience the events of Shibuya. He only wanted to protect them. His misunderstanding to being a team led him to push them away instead of working together and relying on them. Kokichi made a deal with Kenjaku and Mahito that for exchange of all the information they want from the headquarters and being updated on what is going on, they will heal his body. And the pact they did even included them not laying a finger on his fellow classmates, which was broken after Hanami fought the students. He is on the surface a traitor, but his intentions to protect his friends and the situation he is in makes it only natural that he will, but more like he should do it, especially because of the fact that he didn't want to cooperate with the enemy and making perfect plans to minimize the damage for his classmates. He even was planning to contact Gojo to inform him about the events of Shibuya and to come fight alongside him. Everything was going well until Kenjaku saw through his plans and put up a barrier that blocked communication, and he had to fight Mahito. Kokichi technically almost defeated Mahito, and was prepared and ready to face off against Kenjaku. But Mahito was able to kill him before he got the chance to finish him off. His plan was almost a success, exercising Mahito and with the possibility of fighting alongside Gojo against Kenjaku, and ruining the whole Shibuya plan, and in the process getting his body back and protecting his friends. This only speaks of his intelligence that I mentioned earlier. The fact that the whole mess that Japan is in right now, and the tragic events of Shibuya were all almost avoided, simply because of a 17-year-old's desire to connect, because of the unfairness that is served to him in his life. Kokichi is a brilliant sorcerer, and his heroic efforts for the greater good will not be known by others under the impression that he was a traitor, simply because he is misunderstood. No one knows who he really is. What Kokichi doesn't understand is that others have nothing to do with what he is going through. His jealousy and resentment will only affect him and hinder his ability to connect with others even more.
Mechamaru もいろいろ大変なんだろう。でも大変なやつが正しいとは限んねえよ。
Someone as pure and positive as Panda is the perfect contrast to Kokichi, as he tells him that having hardship is not a free pass to do anything. Same thing that Nobara told Momo when they were talking about Mai. If you have it bad, you have to become stronger in order to face life, like Maki did. And in Kokichi's case, who is already strong, relying on others and forming meaningful relationships, so that you don't suffer alone.
メカ丸、大技を無駄打ちするな。敵が目の前の一体だけとは限らないぞ。
メカ丸、これ義理ですけど、チョコの代わりです。エボルタ炭酸が好きと聞きました。
俺はそういうんじゃない。
だってマイが。
メカ丸よ、女のタイプも即答できないやつが呪術師として一人前になれると思うな。
That brings us to the most important person in Kokichi's life. The person he liked the most and even loved. Miwa, as open and nice as she is the person that is most likely to accept Kokichi as who he is. She even told him that she wants to visit him one day and to get closer to him. And she is aware that getting closer to someone only makes it more painful when you lose that person, which she was right about. But is that an excuse not to form proper bonds with people? Death in Jujutsu is the biggest catalyst for all of the characters, as the grief and loss that come with it are the most powerful tools a sorcerer can have. They make you stronger, both by making you stronger as you learn to suffer, but also more disciplined to not lose others. This is clearly seen in Muta, Gojo, and most of all, Yuji. Death is not something that we can control or predict, and there is no escape in it. All there is the ability to cope with it and grow from it. Miwa herself gained a huge amount of resolve after losing Kokichi, something that was not present in her character throughout the story, as she only is a sorcerer so that she can take care of her siblings. To her, it is only a job, a way of making money. She lacked the hunger that sorcerers have to become stronger, and Kokichi's death made her realize that, feeling the regret, weakness, and uselessness, attempting to avenge him and attacking the much superior Kenjaku, which almost killed her if it wasn't for her teacher Kusakabe stepping in. Miwa and Kokichi were not once able to meet, him only seeing her through screens and her only communicating with him through a puppet. Even in his last moment with her, JJ brilliantly reflects him as he talks with her on the mirror of the window of the train, as if he was sitting with her, something that never happened. The glass of the screens and mirrors being the barrier that is always between them. Kokichi never wanted anyone to see him in his previous situation, and he shows signs of insecurity and disbelief that no one will accept him.
俺の姿を見た後でも手伝うなんてセリフが吐けるかな。
えルックスに関して俺がどうこう言うと思ってんのかよ。パンダだぞ。
Overall, Kokichi is a good person who went through some of the most tragic things ever imaginable. He is the most tragic character in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, as he suffered throughout his entire life from incapabilities and mental issues, inability to live a proper life, and in the end he didn't even get a proper death, but was brutally murdered by Mahito. He wasn't able to be with his friends and wasn't able to meet the one he loved in person, and no one will know about his attempt to stop King Jaku's plan, all because of the unfortunate circumstance he was born in, and being the victim of a binding vow, and him trying to do everything by himself and not relying on others. Many thanks for watching.
いつかみんなと一緒に